So, uh, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the UNESCO site, which is called Old Nisa. The old name of the fortress is Mithridatokert, built by Mithridates I, one of the Parthian kings. Nisa, this is a name which originates from the time of Arabian Caliphate, when they were conquering Iran and Central Asia, and when they've reached this fortress, they found lots of women holding out on the walls. So that's why the fortress was entitled like the Fortress of Women. So Nisa in Arabian, that means woman. More than 2,000 years. So 2,000 years ago, even more than 2,000. So in the 2nd century BC, this fortress was built. Now it is located next to the modern village of Bagir and next to the health walk of the first president of Turkmenbashi. You know, every year, Parthian Empire, it was a superpower of the ancient world, the main competitor of the Roman Empire and the main trade partner of Chinese dynasty Han. The Great Silk Road was established in 123 BC because Parthian king Mithridates the second time, and Chinese Emperor Wu, they've started officially the Great Silk Road caravan way, following from east to west or from west to east. So that's how Parthians accumulated lots of money, lots of values, and why it became so powerful, because you know that Persian Empire of Achaemenids, or Achaemenians, how it's called, it was conquered by the army of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BC, and Greek culture began to mix with the Persian culture. Alexander the Great died when he was 33 years old in 323 BC, and after his death, the empire was his legacy was shared between his generals. They are called Diadochis. So Antigonus, Lysimachus, Ptolemy, Seleucus, all of them, they were involved in the brutal and feral and wanton civil war. So after this civil war, they've divided the Alexander's empire in small polities. Ptolemy settled in Egypt, and Seleucus, he settled in Iran. But still, Parthians, they wanted back the territory occupied by Persians and after by Greeks. So that's why in 247 BC, these nomadic tribes, they began an invasion to the Seleucid state, and for more than 100 years, they fought with Seleucids for not for independence, but to extend also. So this is the So before Parthian state, that was a small province in the southern Turkmenistan and in the northern Iran. So this one, that was Parthia, which was conquered by Cyrus the Great. This one, Parthia. It was a small-sized polity which was encompassed by Greco-Bactrian kingdom, by another hostile tribes. But because of the wisdom of their kings, they've expanded beyond. And during the times of its greatest height, Parthian Empire stretched from central eastern Turkey on the west to Afghanistan on the east. The population was 26 million of inhabitants. It was motley, consisting of Jewish population, Akkadians, Persians, Parthians, Greeks. So lots of cultures were mixed in the Parthian state. Parthians, they were nuisance for the Romans because the trade with China was first controlled by the Parthians. So Parthian was like a hub between Middle East and China, and that's why the merchandises traveling from China to Middle East, they become more and more expensive, so they grow more and more expensive as caravan travels, involving lots of middlemen on the way, and these prices were unaffordable in the Roman Empire. That's why Romans, they've decided to clear the way to China by removing all intermediate states on the way. But Parthia was already a superpower which had strong equestrian soldiers, cataphracts, this is a heavy cavalryman, and also horse. Now about Nisa. Nisa, this is UNESCO site. The status is ruins dating from the 2nd century BC, and probably this town was founded by Mithridates I in the middle of the 2nd century BC. So 1 century after the Parthian Empire was officially established. Now the place looks sad and run down because more than 2,000 years passed, and before they had lots of defensive towers here, 43 defensive towers. Now only the silent hills remind about these battlements and fortifications. So this is the plan of Nisa. So all this was old Nisa, and also there is a new Nisa, which was a busy town. This town was for clergy and for the Parthian ruler. The rest of the population was living downhill on this side, on that side. That was New Nisa. Yes, but only the same, like a irregular, no buildings, only in Old Nisa. Only in Old Nisa. So we are here now, and original entry was from the north here. Only one gate could be used before to enter the fortress. As we know, the Parthian architecture, they had massive walls around the space, around a certain space, with sparse buildings in this fortress. So street was from here and up to the walls, which we can see in distance. So why the shape is irregular pentagon? You know that Parthians were influenced by different cultures, and they had different architectural methods to apply. Some fortresses were round, some fortresses were square-shaped, and this one was in the shape of irregular pentagon because the fortress was built on the natural hill. So to size or to fit the fortress into the hill, they had to build this. I invite you to the fortress, and there we will see the temples and also the balconies and the throne hall. 2nd century BC, before Christ. Be careful, there is a pit. The holy book of Zoroastrians was Avesta, which is lost because of Alexander the Great. He sank these 12,000 oxen skins where Avesta was written with golden inks in the river. So in the 4th century AD, as I know the history, the Iranian dynasty of Sassanids, they began to restore the texts of Avesta. So Avesta was written on Old Avestan language. This language belonged to the Iranian group of languages. So now first I would like to show you the reconstruction of the temple. The top picture, sorry, so this is a round hall. The round hall of Nisa. Yeah. They had massive sculptures at the second level. The temple is a sort of mixture of Hellenistic culture and Zoroastrian culture. You know, lots of people, they call Zoroastrians the fire worshippers. It's partially true, but not completely, because they respected 4 elements. Atar, that was a fire. Also, they respected water, earth, and air. When human died, it was the big sin to bury body in the earth, because earth was sacred for Zoroastrians. That's why they took bodies to the sky burials. And after, they were consumed by vultures and dogs. And only bones could be placed under the ground, but not the flesh. Because the flesh of the dead human, that's a victory of the devil Angra Mainyu over the main god Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda, that was a main Zoroastrian creator. He was like Allah for Islam. So Zoroastrianism, this is a religion which is based on paganism, because they had gods smaller in ranks than Ahura Mazda. They are called Yazatas or Ameshaspentas. 6 minor gods, 1 supreme god. So that's why Western experts from United States, Great Britain, and Australia, they still argue about if this religion is polytheistic or this religion is monotheistic. Because they had a main god, but also lots of small gods, which makes it polytheistic. And the main opposition of Ahura Mazda was the devil Angra Mainyu. Angra Mainyu, he tried to sway people and to seduce them with forbidden fruits. So do these bad things, do these bad things. And Ahura Mazda, he had to protect people and to shield them from the influence of the devil, Angra Mainyu. When Ahura Mazda decided to send a prophet to the earth, and so the regular shepherd Zoroaster or Zarathustra, he was blessed by Ahura Mazda to help him in curing people's souls and to take them on the way of good things, not evil things taught by Angra Mainyu. So, but exactly what we know so far. Lots of Zoroastrian cults, they are based on religion of Indo-Iranian pagans. They had the holy drink in Zoroastrianism, which was consumed by priests to become fortune tellers. But the second level of this temple, it was decorated with the statues of Olympic gods. That says about the tolerance of the Parthian state. You know, the walls were much higher than now, 8-9 meters. Now, because of the earthquakes, because of the time, the second level is almost gone. Maybe king, and now we are in the Red Room. It was discovered by Turkmen-Italian archaeological group in 2001. And you know why it was called the Red Room? Because the original color of the walls over there was red. But red color, it was hidden under the fresh layer of new construction material. Columns, they had 2 main types, Ionic and Corinthian. That's probably the influence of Greeks' architectural school. The columns here, probably they had wooden trunks. That's why they didn't survive. But go to the terrace. Erotic things were found in Nisa, including the naked. Is a statue of the naked woman. She was the daughter of the king. The daughter of the king, Mithridates the First. You know, Parthians, they were not sure if they can overcome Greeks or not. That's why the Parthian king Mithridates the First, he decided to marry his daughter to the Seleucid king Demetrius II to stop the war and to negotiate with Greeks about power sharing in the Parthian state. This is the 2nd century BC, so the times of the great... I forgot. The battles, yes, between Romans and Parthians. You know that this war was inevitable. During the reign of Mithridates I from 171 to 138 BC and Mithridates II from 124 to 86 BC, Romans and Parthians, they've kept each other on the distance. So they've negotiated about peace and non-interference. Euphrates River became the border between Roman and Parthian empires, but finally, you know, the first blood was shed in 53 in BC when Marcus Crassus campaigned against Parthians. And Parthians, they won the battle, and there is possible the throne hall of the king. So that was like a royal's residence, but there are still lots of questions because the throne was found there, but it doesn't mean, it means nothing. Maybe someone dropped. Who knows? No, not yet. So this one is a frieze running around along the wall, so we can see only the corner of the frieze. This one, yeah. It's a decorative detail. This was here and here. It's a hall to the throne hall of the kings. Is it good? No. Now he works for Obadan. Now first I will show you the reconstruction of the square hall. So this one. This column survived from the 2nd century BC. It's made of original brick, yeah. Nothing was changed here. This is original brick, but of course the column was not so ugly. Before it was plastered and probably white snow. The first level of the building, it was painted white, and the second level was painted red. And what kind of sculptures were in the alcoves? No, here it is. The Parthian general or the Parthian warrior. So still there are lots of arguments about this place, how to call it, the temple or the throne hall. Really, the throne hall was found during the excavations here, but the treasury was looted by Sassanids when they invaded into the Parthian state, and that's why nobody knows how they could transpose the furniture and everything when they were looting the fortress. Fire existed for 500 years, and everywhere we can see these symbols, the rhytons found in the treasury. Let me show you the big one. This, yeah, from 1.5 to 3 liters. This is a volume of the rhyton, and no one was found exactly like this. Only broken pieces melting in the hands of archaeologists. So before taking them for restoration, they did a very hard job and tedious job. They had to connect all these pieces together. In 3 years, these items were restored, and now, thanks to the gods, the collection was saved. They were found several days before the tragical Ashgabat earthquake of 1948. So the earthquake took place on October 5 and write-ons were found on October 2. So some days before an earthquake in Ashgabat. So that was the brief information about the Parthian Empire. I know that to cover everything we need months or even years to remember all events of the Parthian history, all kings, but exactly we need to remember that Parthia was a superpower which had lots of influence, and even Sassanids, when they began to rule after Parthians, they took a lot from this civilization created by Indo-Iranians. So what we do now when we go back to the bus?
Tatjana kann ja mal mit Stories. Hier, live.
Hello. 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 Yeah.